Hello, I am Zap, and I have another game of the third round of the Winter Tournament 2K18. This time between Nesi and Star Master Mighty Mod Prodigy. I'm just a pro and I like to change my name. As Klingons, Martok Klingons. Versus Mr. Nesi, the fellow Austrian. Yeah, he's Austrian. And he is again Federation, going with his Interest. At first, probably going to do the build which he has done so well with this tournament, building a fast Starfleet command. And Mighty has announced he was going to spam Cavorts and defeat the Federation. Now, generally, Cavorts strong against Federation. Sent both his cons, building his field yard, the first one at the Tritanium. Frequently done so as a Klingon. It's a little bit awkward when you have both of your constructors in the same spot, and then you have slow chunks of the boat all the way over to the other end of your base. But he's sending his miners on the lithium first, at least the first one. As it should be. Building Bird of Prey extension. I assume the second con is going to build a field research very soon. Or is he going to expand first with it? Looks like this might be heading towards his natural. But there's nothing else he can build out of this but barrels. Is he going to try and spam barrels, or is he just going to build a few barrels until he can build cavorts? Now, barrels don't do particularly well against massive Federation ships. They do well against individual ships like sabers, but nobody ever built sabers, and especially Excelsior ones. But those are only part of a warpen. And those barrels are so squishy. He needs to build the field research soon and actually upgrade to the cavorts. Nesi's just scouting. Mighty still has a scout sitting in Nesi's base. He knows what he's doing. He's not sent out anything. He's just sitting there. Chess is one going up. Starfleet Science gonna finish. Already sending his constructor in position to build Starfleet Command. And the receipt go up. Yes, here it goes. 140 seconds build time in total. There we go, Mighty's constructor here is finished. Where's he sending it? Sending it to the other end of his base. Is he going to try and double expand with this and just barrel spam? Yeah, he's starting his expansion here with a field yard as well. Man, I don't know. If I'd gone for barrel spam against Federation, I would have gone with Chuck Rajan, not with Martok. Because then you also have a torpedo and just generally higher attack stats on these barrels. And a lot of the ships which you're going to be facing in a warp-in rush, probably supported by Intrepids, is going to be of the medium to large variety, against which pulses do badly and torpedoes do better. Well, I'm curious how this is gonna play out. Going up. Assume this is going to go according to his build. Needs to put a mining, needs to put a platform next to his base dilithium mining now, which is the natural place for a raid to happen. But Mikey hasn't even cloaked his rail yet. He needs to also build a couple of miners. He needs to put them to work. Send them all to the expansion. Second rail done. Fun fact. The little scout is basically half a barrel. Oh, that's what he's doing. Those miners are not there to go to the expansion. He didn't just forget to send them somewhere. This is a little cavalry raid. He's popped the Katingas. He's sending the barrels with them. This is the typical Klingon rush. Katingas and barrels. Question is he going to succeed with it? He's probably going to be able to keep Nesi from expanding if he keeps the pressure up for quite a while, but this turret is half done. It's gonna be done by the time he gets anywhere. This. And even if he suppresses Nesi's mining, he's still going to have 3 ships coming in here. And the first 3 free ships should be arriving soon. Don't disappoint me and actually hit the button. No, he's turned his ships around. He's seen that he's scouting. Yes, he's called in the warp in. Usually he calls it in defensively. Especially since at this point he's under attack, but it looks like if he's not being pressured, he will send it in offensively. He's just sending it to the center of the map to meet up with his one Intrepid that's out. And these squishy little ships are going to have problems attacking this anywhere but at his expansion. So if Nesi wants to press on the offensive as Mighty, I would just let him do that. Oh, careful! Here's a ping scout. Might ping you there. Ah, there he pops the ping and Mighty's just gotten out. Ooh! Ooh! He needs to turn his barrel around. Oh! The ping was still active. And there it goes. 1 squishy barrel down. Can't afford to lose ships like this. Ops, indeed. And Mighty is sending his constructor in the middle here, just after his first warp in. And at this point, I'm not sure there's much that he could do about this. Mighty had seen this constructor, which it looks like he did, since his scout appears to have followed it. Could have tried intercepting it while it was on the way. But even then, those ships are not all that much DPS. Is he building more Katingas? Yes, he's building more Katingas. He's somewhat committed to this. I guess saying and announcing beforehand that he was going to be just spamming Kavors was just mind games. Say you are going to spam Kavors and then actually do Burel Katinga. Also likes to do the expand everywhere thing. Yeah, it's got scouted, but there's not much the Feds can do against this really, except, well, sending a weapon. No, I guess this must have just cloaked. Now, we're going to see the shields of this one Intrepid taking not all that much damage from the first 4 volleys of this cloak. First Katinga just barely getting out still. With just 4 ships or so, Mighty is still going to be able to take ships out and perhaps kill a couple. But as soon as the second warp-in arrives, this is going to look much different. Question is, will he be able to cut down Nesi's numbers far enough that by the time the second warp-in arrives, he will still only have like 4 or 5 ships and might still be able to cloak out his Katingas like this. Katingas and Morels. Looks like he has decided he's not going to be able to kill anything in the vicinity of this yard and cloaked out. He hasn't lost any ships except for that initial barrel which ran afoul of the pink scout. Do you think he killed an Intrepid there? Or was it a Monsoon? I don't know. That's also something they like to do if their systems get hit and the 30 crew die off pretty quickly in one of these barrels and they have to be recrewed. Yeah, of course he sent his constructor far away, so he's just going to have to sit there or have it come back, which it looks like he's doing. Just expand down here, getting some of the extra die. Building Katingas all of your star is actually relatively tri-heavy, so he might want to have an extra tri-moon or miner as well. Yeah, there's quite some mining time which is getting lost here on this tri-moon without having a third miner up there. But he does have a decent amount of ships thanks to all these Katingas. There it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9 Katingas and 5 barrels. That is a decent fleet. Now, is he going to decloak straight on top of this fleet? Yes, he is. Might be able to get this monsoon before it gets in the yard, but no, Nesi's quick on the fingers. He's given to a repair order right away. And all the barrels were out of range, just the Klingons could shoot it, and it's going to make it into the yard. He's lost 1 ship there, probably a second Katinga going to eat it without its engines here. Oh, he's going after an ambitious target, the Torpedo Nebula. But that too, it's going to make it into the yard. It's lost the Katinga there. He's going to just try and prevent the turret from going up. He might actually kill this. Yes, he's going to kill this constructor. Yes, that goes. But losing another barrel in the process. There's the second warp-in. This really was a timing attack which he needed to do just before that second warp-in got here. Another Katinga losing engines. That's basically a loss as well. How many ships do we have left after this raid? 5 Katingas here and a barrel. 2 Katingas and a barrel. So he's lost 3 barrels and 2 barrels and 2 Katingas here. And this one, which lost its engines. So essentially 5 of his small ships. For a constructor and little else. Now he's just going to go and get this platform up. Nesi looks like he's going to be pushing on the offensive. He is... yes, was afraid of getting followed, I suppose. Going to ping the scout. This is going to be taking it over. And yes, Cloaked Scout as a non-cloaker is awesome. Unfortunately, his ships have taken out most of the weapon systems, and as soon as he loses crew, he just shoots it. He's building Intrepid at home. Mighty is still committed to the barrel spam. As much as you can spam from 2 yards when you're also building Katingas. Still, even with those losses he just took, this is still a nasty fleet. He at least rivals the Federation in firepower, even with that second warp-in now. I really liked the timing of the last attack, which was right before the second warp-in arrived. Being aware of the timings and when your opponent is going to be having his next ship available, or especially in a case with the warp-ins where they come every 3 minutes, 3 ships. Being aware of that is very important. Possibly even worth putting a scout or a Katinga on the Starfleet command just to keep an eye on the timers. Now the Donut's gotten up, he's not waiting for any Klingons to decloak, just straight up upgrading it into a sensor turret. This is potentially going to catch this Katinga that is out of its engines, out of engine power there. A little bit of firepower going on that scout here. Katinga is going to get pinged indeed. Not ever going to be able to rejoin the Empire and its wolf packs. Now Mighty is just huffing and puffing around, sitting here, being threatened by this Federation fleet sitting in the middle. Nesi doesn't really want to push, because he knows if he pushes to Mighty's expansion over here, which just has 3 miners on it, which is not a lot. I'd at least put 5 on here. Or at least 4. 2 in each moon. If he goes to attack, he can be sure that the Klingons are going to be there waiting, and yeah, he motions to attack, motions back. Mighty goes up there. On the other hand, if Mighty was to go and raid, which he might well do, this isn't actually defended. Attacking here would at least force him to upgrade this turret if nothing else, and spend some resources there. Then Nesi might have a free reign to attack this base. Could probably take out the yard extension or the yard itself or the miners. Even with the fast Klingon fleet here, it's going to be going to take a while for them to return from Nesi's main dilithium or titanium. At this point they're just watching each other grow, and I'm not sure if watching each other grow and build up is something that Mighty wants to happen here. Because his ships are super squishy. His ships are not exactly efficient on resources. His economy isn't... well, he has an extra moon, but he is slightly understaffed in the mining department. All of these miners are working at maximum effectivity, but still... I suppose he might be banking on it that Nesi is still only mining from his base. Oh no, he does actually have mining up in the center. So, well... I'm still not sure if playing the build-up game with the Federation is something you want to do in this situation. Even if you're tripling damn Burrells. Martok Burrells against Federation, he's gonna be short on supplies soon. Here we have Decloak. Just going to annihilate these miners. These poor unfortunate souls. He's just want to mine titanium and be happy Federation citizens. Is he going to go after the yard? Or is he going to retreat? If he goes after the yard, you might want to incentivize Nesi to return. But yeah, Nesi, as I predicted earlier, if he faces an attack at home, he's just going to run into this expansion from his center position, which is something you can do if you have the center position, which is why it's so nice as a non-cloaker to have the center. Just go and realize the threat towards this Jarl here. It's not even going and attacking the extension, just going straight for the center facility. I had some intrepid torpedoes go off. Killing the next miner, he's going to have to be careful not to lose any ships, because they lose lots of their shields if they get any of the starbase fire. Yes, but he looks to trade. He looks to kill this Federation yard, it looks like. Yeah, he's just trying to get his ships as far back from the station as possible, but these short-range ships, it's going to be difficult. Nestle is returning after having wiped out this expansion. Looks like one miner has lived as a Katinga. And he's deconned his base yard. Doesn't matter much, he still has this one which he can build out of. And he's in fact taken his natural. Mighty's cloaking away. He's also built up and put another dilithium moon here. Now he has 3 dilithium moons and 1 titanium moon. He's gonna have somewhat of an imbalance. I don't think Nesi knows about either of these moons in the corner. Although it's really something that Mighty likes to do. Sneaky moons in the corner somewhere. Oh, he's also fearful of a decloak on top of him in this somewhat defensible position, I guess. But it looks like he's going to be able to take out this yard armor post as well. Federation fleet decides to take on the warp station. Yes, I'm afraid it is going to be too close for the Burrells. There's going to have to be some real micromaneuvering to keep any ships from dying in this position here. But he's lost 2 of his 3 yards. Looks like Nesi is going further to the left. He might have scouted this at some point. Might have just been expecting something. But it looks like all 3 Klingon yards are going to eat it. He's already built up another one. And yes, look at his dilithium imbalance. Maybe he's killed the station. I haven't seen if he's actually lost any ships, but they need to repair if nothing else. Ah, yeah, 1 ship's lost engines. Yeah. Trading like this is something you can do. I don't think that Mighty has the ships to take on this. Man. But this little squad of 5 damn Excelsiors would die so quickly to the Burrells. Just to take 50% extra damage from the Burrells. That might be nice. I mean, a tank the Katingas, so it cancels out, but still. He doesn't actually have that many Burrells. It's a lot of Katingas. But yes. Fact of the matter is that Mighty can't engage Nesi's fleet here. It's just too much Federation. Oh, there's a detachment of Burrells here. They're just raiding here, I guess. He has very little remaining in terms of economy or infrastructure. And this fleet is sitting here, doing much of anything. He just popped a... Oh yeah, look at how rich both of these players are in dilithium. I suppose Nesi too has that extra dilithium moon in the center. So he's not even going to be hurt much by this. On the other hand, he lost his titanium earlier. Nesi's just going to take out this station, because why wouldn't he? He doesn't seem to be facing an actual Klingon attack by the fleet. So suppressing his infrastructure as much as he can is the best thing he can do. So, What is Mighty going to do? Is he going to try and attack the center? There isn't much left for Nesi to attack before he's going to return to the center or attack the station itself. Where are those containers going? Yep, immediately pop that. Who needs mining? We need more containers. Bloop, 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 bloop. All these torpedoes hitting and hitting systems. Ah, the last one finishes off the container though. The fact if a ship hits another one on the hull, no, there's a chance that the damage of the ship is done to either one of these systems, which have hit points on their own. They're just not shown, these hit point pools, or the hull pool. So either one of the systems or the hull hit points themselves will be hit. It's not do damage and damage to a system, I don't think. Oh, he's deciding to catch the tail end of this fleet and do some Burrell extra damage against these Excelsiors. He's still going to have some ships remaining. But these small ships are going to die here and going to be dying in very quick succession. Very quick succession. Torpedo not going to be hitting much in these small ships, but still enough to secure another kill if nothing else. Intrepid is getting out. More Klingon ships dying. Excelsior's too slow to retreat. Nesi just needs to stay in this fight and suppress the Klingons. If he can lure him back to space, all the better, but still. At this point, even if Nesi would lose most of his fleet in an engagement, the Klingons don't exactly have anything to rebuild from. Still have the top expansion, but it's just 2 minors. Yep, Mighty's disengaging. Another Burrell eating the dust. Now, Nesi lost his warp-in station earlier, although I think he already had the 3rd warp-in out, so it didn't particularly matter. But now it matters again, because he only has, 5 warp-ins remaining. Might be able to call in 1 or 2 more. And, wow, 4k dilithium in the bank. Short on try. Yeah, Mighty 2 has switched his miners over to the try now. I think sometimes people over prioritize dilithium before ship building. They'd rather get an extra dilithium moon instead of a titanium moon, and then they get raided on the titanium, and then they suddenly have 2 miners, 2 moons worth of dilithium coming in, and none of the titanium, and then they're critically short. This is going down, trying to suppress Mighty from building up again, but he's not even attempting anything. He's not built another constructor. Sent his constructor to the edge of the map here, but the only real chance Mighty has for winning this now is completely starving Nesi of resources. And yes, looks like he's just going to try and tank this platform here, which his Burrells aren't going to do much damage against, since it takes half damage from short range. And an additional 40% less damage from the pulse weapons they have. So it's going to be very difficult for him to kill this thing with the fleet he has. Not to mention that a shot will basically wipe out the shields in any of these small ships. Yeah, this is just seeing what the Klingons still have on their base. The answer's nothing, except a few ships that were retreating there for some reason. Not sure why he had these ships detached. Did he manually send them there during the fight because they were getting damaged, with the intention of sending them to his secret yard up here later? Also, he's completely out of supplies. If he gets a couple rank ups, it'll fix itself, but looks like the last one was enough to get another Burrell building. Important thing to do. Cloaked ships cause lag in this game. And, well, yeah, it's lag in terms of FPS drops. Because the transparency is hard on the rendering engine for some reason. Even on modern hardware. Yes, this game was programmed 20 years ago, but still today we have performance problems with the same things they did in the 90s. And cloaked fleets, especially with a high number of ships, cause slowdowns, and slowdowns in terms of FPS also cause slowdowns in terms of the actual game logic, the actual ticks that get processed. It just slows the game down, and on a network, when there's a little bit of delay involved, it just gets incredibly bad if there's people looking at fleets which are big enough. So when there's a large fleet flying around, it's usually courtesy not to look at it in order not to slow the game down. Right now it's fine. These small ships don't have as many polygons as a Watcher or Negva would. But the effect gets worse when the ships are cloaking or decloaking. So people usually like to move their window away from there and look elsewhere while these ships are cloaking or decloaking. Sure, if it's in a fight, you probably want to be looking and giving orders and doing stuff. But if they're just in transit, no reason not to. Now, Nesi is going right. He doesn't have a scout out, does he? Is he from the fleet now? No, looks like he lost a scout somewhere on the way. Oh no, it's here. Probably seeing stuff then. Seeing where he has expanded. Because he still doesn't have anything on his base. Might he's debating what to do. I think he still needs to try and starve Nesi. He should just try and wipe these two miners. Yeah. He doesn't actually have a scout, so he didn't exactly know where this fleet was, I suppose. He lost a scout earlier. No, that's not a scout. He might as well send a Burrell or Ktinga. Oh, looks like he's trying to take on this pulse platform. He shot over half of the shields on this Burrell. Oh yeah, see, it took some damage from the shot earlier. That should take out the engines. But then the station dies. Took this fleet of small ships for quite a while there. Mike's last bastion of hope. This expansion up here is getting wiped out. I suppose he did save his constructor. And one miner. Mostly full of titanium too. Nesi's going to lose his yard here. If he had retreated right as these ships decloaked, he would have been able to save this yard. Question is, was it worth it? He probably knows that this is the last thing that Mighty still has on the field, the last structure steel he still has, so yeah, probably worth it. He's still mining at home quite comfortably. He's even rebuilding his Starfleet command finally. Still, this Klingon fleet cannot take on this Federation fleet, and so being completely starved as the Klingons are, desperately trying to get their hands on a couple hundred more units of titanium, it's over and has been for a while, realistically. I got 20 supplies off of that raid. Or did they decommission anything? Maybe stop a Burrell that was building up there, I don't know. Is he going to ping the fleet? Is Nesi going to try? Yeah. Game is getting a little laggy right now, but no, not going to catch the fleet except for this Burrell that ate the engine damage earlier. Well, it's losses that you don't necessarily want to happen to you. On the Burrell that's one thing, but if it happens to a bigger ship, a Kavod or even something like a Watcher, that sucks. Nesi's sending this warp in defensively. in anticipation of an attack to his base. And oh man, he has 5k dilithium in the bank. Losing the miners up here really didn't do anything to him. Trying to rebuild his yard. Sure, in any other situation, any other game, this would be a bad situation to be in, forced back into your base, only have a mining station outside, lost your other expansion, having like trouble mining, not having a yard, having to rebuild your Starfleet command. But in this situation, it's all well and good. And Nesi earlier just moved his fleet, didn't have his scout in the same group or something. Oh yeah, that's the slowdown. I think I lost, he says. I think he's right. I think he lost too. Yeah, at least he lost the scout. Building another one. Now he's out of supplies. Yeah, unfortunately, it costs just as much dilithium as titanium to buy new supplies. Wonder when he's going to notice that he's out of supplies, cancels, doesn't hit Shift S. With Shift S being the shortcut to buy supplies. Yeah, slow down. You can see the ships move faster and slower on the minimap when you move there and back when they're decloaking. Just how much a slowdown a fleet of this size causes when it uncloaks or cloaks. No, Nesi spot supply, queuing up more scouts. Just falls before they get there. Yeah, see how slow they just got? Now that I'm looking away again, it gets faster. It might well be that these players have the game on a lower graphical setting, so that there might be a little less slowdown caused from graphical effects like this. No, now it's fine again. But I actually like the game. It looks pretty. Much prettier than you'd expect for a game that was made 20 years ago. Sure, if you zoom in far enough, then you can actually see the jaggy edges and such of the textures and the actual surfaces, the individual polygons of the ships, but generally, it's pretty nice. Especially like the look of many of the Klingon ships. Well, you can't really see them well when they are cloaked, but a lot of the models in this game are just really pretty. Now, come on, what are we waiting for? Finish him! Yeah, finish him would be Nesi attacking the Klingon starbase and wiping that out and wiping any chance of Mighty ever rebuilding. He's just still building up his economy again. Yeah, decloak, causing slowdowns. Yep, killing a ship just finished building, I presume. Yes, this one is just building in the yard. Wiping a few tri-miners. Station not taking much damage. And now it's going to run again. Hit and run, hit and run. Officer Burrell. What do Officer Burrells get? Aside from slowdowns when they cloak. Extended destroyer costs right, they do extra damage against destroyers and take less from them. Now the monsoons count as destroyers, but the intrepid actually count as cruisers already, so the monsoons are the only ship that will actually matter on. Not sure if there's like centaurs counting as destroyers. Ooh, that was a nice catch. Much of the fleet was caught there. But still, these ships should be fast enough. Not quite enough to wipe out a Katinga, but mostly. That was just six intrepids, and not even all of them hit. Mighty turned back first. Knew that he only had one scout, I suppose. Or hoped that he only had one scout to decloak him with. No, heading further down. Nesi looks like he's trying to re-expand a little, but again, he does not have the titanium to do it. He's already sent out new miners, though. Looks like a third one is going over. Yeah, he's pulled his third miner from the dilithium, sending it on the titanium. If you have the mining station this far away, then it's safer for the miners. They can dock in a safer position. And but if you do this, you really need to have 3 miners on the moon. If you have the mining station close to the moon, then you can get away with 2 most of the time. But in the situation it requires you to have 3. Mighty 2 has opted to put his stations close to his main. And he's burning his science station. Suppose he wants to get the special for the barrels. Not sure exactly how much it matters. They do get a stat bonus. But it costs supply to use and he doesn't really have that. He's put supply in the yard. Put supply in the yard queue for the station. Needs much titanium to do it, though. I suppose he really wants to have the special instead of trying to rebuild conventionally in terms of building more ships, getting another shipyard up. New weapon. Nesi's sending a scout before his attack to announce that he's coming. No, 1E1 turning back. We're finally going to see the 2 fleets facing each other off. What's he turning back for? No, he's turning back. And there's other ships back too. There's just a little bit of mismicroing. He's paranoid of a Klingon fleet just descending on top of him, but I'm afraid he's overestimating their size and strength. Still, it would be nice if you could just catch them while they are stalking you. No, this is the situation in which Mighty just needs to upgrade his base and try to take out some of these ships. Perhaps if they get cocky and... oh yes, they've blown their special, that's good. Perhaps if they get cocky and try to kill the constructor or some of the other stations. Yes, he's upgraded his starbase. This is the time to be cloaked, yep. But the small ships are eating it. Nesi, being a cowardly Federation player, he is, just retreats. Eventually deciding that actually there weren't just like 5 Katingas and 8 Barrels or something like that, and we can actually take that. We have about equal numbers, except our ships have at least twice the stats. But yeah, fighting on a starbase still, I guess. Yeah, that is indeed how to make a game last a long time. Building anything from this? No. Oh. Poor scouts. It's nice to do this though. There's a scout coming by and just wipe them out in one shot with a fleet decloaking. Yeah, more scouts queued and more miners. Still 4K try in the bank. 4K die. Klingon economy much more balanced now. Good question. Did he use the special earlier there? He lost his titanium. He had more earlier. But he didn't spend 250 supplies on special for those few barrels. Not sure what he did. I suppose he cancelled the special and just built the yard, built the extra miner. And what? Oh well. He still doesn't have the special. Perhaps he was trying to build the field research in order to build a turret to expand in relative safety. Klingon turrets are nasty, especially against the short-range Federation Chassis 1 ships. And together with this fleet, much like with a starbase, they would still be a threat to the Federation fleet. Fortunately, yes, you need both field yard and field research to build the Klingon turret, as we found out in the round 1 of this tournament. Oh, so no, Scott is going to turn back, deciding not going to eat it like his predecessor. Carrying out a little raid. I suppose you should go and destroy this yard, unless you really want to go back. This Federation fleet is going to disengage from the space here before he goes back. Before Mighty is going to have his fleet return. Federation players can be so lucky, getting all these ambassadors to park in front of a starbase and have it become basically worthless. I suppose the Klingon isn't quite as worthless since the torpedo weapon, the main one, does random targeting. It doesn't just fire at the closest thing like the secondaries, like the pulse as well here. No, here's Mighty coming. Veteran Intrepid, see that before. Their passive just gives him extra fire rate. Which is good. It's awesome, in fact. One of the better passives to get. More useful than the Borel one, to be sure. But now we're slugging it out right in front of the Klingon stars. Nesi decides he's had enough of this. Doesn't want to prolong this anymore. Officer Tinga eating it. One Burrell down, another Burrell eating it, another Burrell eating it. Officer Burrell eating it. It just die too quickly, these Klingon ships. That's all there is to it. Only one eating it there. Parking some ambassadors in front of the starbase again. Oh, the Sensor Nebula Squadron is eating it. Oh, he actually managed to get one of the rails up to veteran on this. Yeah, they have, much like the cohorts, they have the disruptor that shoots 3 times instead of 2 times. But it has the stats of, it's basically a slightly ranked cohort there. Ah, there we go. He's blaming Shadow for the reason that he lost. Did they talk while they were in game? Who knows?